Hello, everybody. Welcome to the next game in the 1987 American League replay. We are in the May 9th date. This is game number 194 on the season. And it's the Kansas City Royals against the Cleveland Indians. Royals are 12 and 13. Cleveland is 13 and 15. Starting pitchers, Tom Candiotti for the Indians and Brett Saberhagen for the Royals. Candiotti is a +2 hold along with Bando's +1, makes him a +3. Saberhagen is a -3, so even with Jamie Quirk's +2, he's a -2. So that could maybe deter the Indians from stealing a little bit. We don't know, but the Royals, of course, there's no Willie Wilson, so that's going to take away one of their big guys that would normally be stealing, but you never know what's going to happen. That's why you play the game. Hello there. Nah, it was a blowout, unfortunately. But that's the way the games go sometimes. The dice rolls just come up. And it was a good pitching matchup, too. So I had high expectations, but low results, as they say. That is 100% right. You're going to get what they call, what's the word? I can't think of the word for it off the top of my head right now, but less than wonderful games, put it that way. Get some bummers, I guess you call it. All right, so Laffer is another good name. Yes, absolutely. All right, so we've got everything ready to go. I realized the Stanley Cup was going on, but I could care less about hockey. I almost like the WNBA more than I do hockey. That's how bad hockey is, in my opinion. That's just me. There are people that love it, go for it. I know the Yankees and Red Sox are on Fox, but I turned on the game, saw those hideous Boston yellow jerseys, and said, "What the hell is that?" and turned it off. So I don't know what Boston's doing with those yellow jerseys, but they look terrible. They should be ashamed. They should literally be ashamed of themselves. And there were some idiots in the stands wearing those stupid things. I tell you what, sucker born every minute. That's exactly what the Barnum Bailey guy, P.T. Barnum, said. Sucker born every minute. People put out weird crap and people buy it. It's just the way it is. That's a welcome to America in 2025. All right, so enough of my mini soapbox. Let's drive on. Cotton Candiotti having a rough replay. He's 0-3 and his ERA is 6.32. 31 innings pitched, 36 hits, 14 walks, 19 strikeouts. So he could definitely use a good outing. Juan Beniquez getting a rare start in left field as they are moving Bo Jackson to center with the injury to Willie Wilson. And Tartable's on the bench as Thad Bosley plays right field. So Beniquez hitting 243, 2 homers, 12 driven in. We're underway, 5-12 for Candiotti, and that's a ballpark blast right off the top. And for Beniquez, a righty, 1-11, but that's a 15. So he will just hit a deep fly to left. And that's going to take care of that. Forgot to write in his run rating there. So fly to left field, warning track power for Beniquez, and there's one away. That'll bring up Angel Salazar. Very strange. He usually bats 8th or 9th. He's batting 2nd in today's game. Not sure the reason. In the replay, he's hitting 338, a homer and 6 driven in, so he's way above his skis. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're looking at Bernazard of 4E22. Boy, that double die comes up again. Doesn't matter what color I choose. It's a double die. 4-5 is going to be a single, so yet another hit for Salazar. Improves his average. E22 for Bernazard. He has to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And he barely does with an 11. So it is a one-out single for Salazar. Failed range played by Bernazard. Salazar, to get the lead, needs a 2 or a 6, 7, or 8, but he'll be caught on a 10 or 11. But with that +3 from Candiotti, that's just too good to pass up. So they're going to try to get the lead. That's a 9, so he cannot get the lead. That's one of the few numbers that don't show up, so he does not get the lead. Hello, Ernest. Hello, Captain. Good to see all of you. That's what I agree, Ben. That's the same thing with that Ghost Runner and the all the new rules they implemented, trying to do the younger crowd. The younger crowd could give less than, to borrow a phrase, and pardon my French, but to borrow a phrase from ID Jester, they could give two shits about the MLB. And it's just taking away the old fans and frustrating them. So yes, if I sound like a get off my lawn guy, I am that in spades when it comes to baseball. All right, here is Kevin Seitzer. 223 average, 2 homers, 8 driven in. It's a 5-3, and it's a fly ball right field X. We're looking at Corey Snyder. He's a 2E11. 2 and a 2. Boy, that double die is just, you can't get away from the double die. I already scratched out my other white, the D20. I may have to scratch this one out too. I have to get a psychedelic one or something. So a 2 and a 2 is a single 2 stars. So that will send Salazar to third. And now the E11 on Snyder, he has to avoid 4, 16, 13, 15. So basically 3, 4, and then a 13 through 18. That's a 14. I think he skips that. He does. 13 and 15, but no 14. So Seitzer reaches on the single, but is not going to be an error. Seitzer can get the lead as well. A 5 or a 6 will get him the lead. Runners on the corners and 1 out. They're still going to be aggressive. Can't get the lead, so he'll hold. Here's Thad Bosley. Very strange to have him hit cleanup, but he is. He's hitting 269, 2 homers, 4 driven in. One 8, and that's a strikeout. So strikeout keeps the runners right where they are. Now it's a clutch situation for Frank White. And let's see here. He gets a single on a 312. That's his only clutch rating. He gains a hit on 312. But it's a 4-3. Ground ball first base X. Seitzer was being held, so the first baseman Carter turns to a 4. He's a 4E24. And with this double die, that doesn't look good at all. It's 4 and a 6 probably is not going to help his cause. 4 and a 6 is an SI1. So it will be a base hit that will score the run. Third low roll on the D20 has finally cost the Indians a run. Frank White single sneaks it past Carter. His error rating's an E24, so he's got to avoid all these numbers here. 3 and then 11 through 14 and then 17 and 18. That is a 5, so it will be a rare play, probably a not so rare play. SI1 rare play probably is no rare play at all. Wait a minute, maybe there is. Hold on. Hold the phone, folks, here. With a runner on first base, which there was in Seitzer, runner on first base, the batter hits a line drive, which hits the runner. The runner on first is called out. Batter goes to first on single, and all other runners hold. So that's going to negate the run. So finally, we get a rare play that actually does something. It's actually going to negate that run. Is what it's going to do. Maybe premature in putting down that run. So now I got to clean things up a bit. So what happens is White is credited with the single, but Seitzer is out 3 unassisted. 3 unassisted as Carter is the first closest player to him. So that's going to end the inning. So lucky break there for Cleveland, as a 3 base hits by Kansas City does not bring home a run. Wow. Very interesting how that happened. I don't know why this track computers. All right, there we go. Okay. So we are set. And Kansas City misses out big time. And Saberhagen will take the mound for the Royals. Saberhagen on the replay is hitting. I'm sorry, he's not hitting. He's pitching 2-3 on the season with a 307 earned run average, 41 innings pitched, 36 hits, 10 walks, 22 strikeouts. Brett Butler to lead it off. He's hitting .444, but he's only had 36 at bats because he was injured for much of April, so he does not qualify for the batting lead. But he is hitting .444 in 36 at bats. That's a 3-6, and the hit parade continues for Butler. He will single. The average will go up. Now, does Butler want to attempt the lead? It is a -2, so if he gets the lead, it'll only be a 1 to an 11. But if you're Brett Butler, that's what you do. You steal bases. So he's going to try to get that lead. And he gets it. So it's 15 being held as a 13, -2 is an 11. And, of course, it's going to be a low D20, and it's a chance for a throwing error on the catcher. T rating of Quirk is a 3. And no throwing error, but it will be a stolen base for Mr. Butler. The Butler did it. Stole second. He's in scoring position with nobody out for Tony Bernazard, second baseman. Bernazard hitting .272, 4 homers, 15 driven in. It's a 6-7, switch hitter batting left, and that's a ground ball second base X, so you know Butler's at least going to get to a third base on that. Frank White's a 2. 220. Now Kansas City gets the high roll, so 220 he'll get to it. E11 and a 6 should be okay. Second baseman, E11, no 6, so it's just a 4-3 ground out with Butler going to second base. But had he not stolen, that would have been a double play if he was still on first base. So the infield is coming in with 1 out, and it'll be Julio Franco, the batter. Hello, Chuck. Franco on the replay hitting .305, 2 homers, 14 driven in. Butler dancing off the bag at third. 5-7, and that's going to be a 1-6 single. That's a 1. Again, the double die shows up low, and it's an RBI single for Julio Franco, and the Tribe take a 1-0 lead. That'll bring up Mel Hall. Hello, Tony. Hello, Utah Mike. So Mel Hall, the batter, hitting .321, 4 homers, 14 driven in. That's a 2, chance for a balk or pass ball. We're looking at a pass ball rating on Quirk. He's a pass ball of 6. There will be no pass ball. So here's Hall. 5-3, and that's a fly ball right field X. That's Thad Bosley. That's not too good. He's a 4E11. That's terrible. And the way the D20's been rolling, you figure it's going to drop. 4 and 8 looks like a hit all the way. And it is single 2 stars. So that will move Franco to third. And we'll see about Bosley's E11. He's got to avoid 3, 4, and then 13, basically 13 through 18. That is a 13. That's going to be an error. A 2-base error on top of that. So the E11 gives him a 2-base error. So it's a single 2 stars and a 2-base error. Hall will go to third on the E9. Scoring is Franco. And the Indians lead it 2-0. So we have a single and a 2-base error on the right fielder, Bosley. Scoring is Franco. Hall at third with 1 out, infield coming in. And Pat Tabler, the batter, one of the league's leading hitters at .378. 4 homers, 16 driven in. 2-6, and that's a trouble for Saberhagen again. 111's a double. That's a 19. It'll be a single. And that will score the runs. Don't know. Well, we know Franco's run is now earned. Don't know about Hall, because Hall would have gotten to third on that play. So if there's another hit or something like that, then we can call it earned. Strat computer will probably tell me either way. So it's now 3-0 Cleveland. Here's Joe Carter. Struggling Joe Carter, only hitting a $176 on the replay. 3 homers, 5 driven in. Still only 1 out. 3-5, and that's a ground ball shortstop B, fielder's choice. So, I mean, you could play devil's advocate. If the guy had still been on third, he would have been out at the plate on a ground ball B, but you're starting to get in the weeds when you do that. So we'll leave it alone, let the Strat computer figure it out. Let that do the heavy lifting. So 2 outs, and here's Corey Snyder. He's hitting .235, 4 homers, 13 driven in. He's also having a slow start, but he only hit .236 real world, so he's right on his average, actually. 5-9, and that's a fly to center field, and that's finally going to end the inning. But Cleveland puts up a 3 spot in the first. But with Cleveland's pitching staff, a game is never over. We go to the second, 3-0 Cleveland. But Tom Candiotti is not exactly Cy Young, so anything is liable to happen. So coming up, it'll be Bo Nose to lead things off. Bo Jackson hitting .250 on the replay, homer and 9 driven in. He hit .235 real world. 6-5, that's a fly to left, and Hall will haul it in. 1 away. 1 down for Balboni, Mr. Bye-Bye. He's hitting a .171, 5 homers, 8 driven in. That's a 6-9, and that's a fly to center. Butler hauls it in. Candiotti going for that so-called shutdown inning. And here's Jamie Quirk. .227, no homers, 4 driven in. It's a 1-5 and a ground ball to Carter, and that will do it. 1-2-3 inning for Candiotti. And still 3-0 Cleveland. Saberhagen looking for better luck here in the second. He's not going to have an easy start of it as he gets to face Brooke Jacoby. And all he's doing is hitting .376 on the replay with 4 homers, 20 driven in. It's a 5-7, and that's a 1-6 single. That's a 15, so caught a break there. Line out to Salazar. 1 down. Tomorrow will be inside pitch. Pittsburgh, the 1977 inside pitch NL replay. It'll be Pittsburgh at New York. It'll be Jerry Royce against Tom Seaver from Shea Stadium. Here is Bando on the replay. Bando hitting .217, a homer and 8 driven in. He hit .218 real world, so he's right on pace. 2-8 for Bando, and that is a split chance. 1-2 is a single. Anything else, he lines to second. That is out number 2. 2 down, and that will send it back to the top of the order for Brett Butler. Single, stole second, and scored his first time up. 2-9, and this time he grounds it to Balboni to end the inning. So both pitchers settle in after an interesting first inning. Second inning is nondescript. We go to the third, still 3-0. Candiotti back out. Will face Bill Pacoda at third base today. So actually it was Seitzer that took the ball to the bag, not Balboni, because Balboni is the DH. It was actually Seitzer. So Seitzer's playing first instead of third, and Balboni's DH instead of playing first, and Pacoda's in the lineup. So Pacoda in limited duty, 7 at bats, but he's hitting .429. And just those 7 at bats. 6'4", it's catcher X. That is Bando. He's a 2-2. 2-10 for a catcher. 2-10 with the bases empty is a P/there'll be a pop out if there's no error. E2, the only error is 317 and 18. And there is no error there. So it is a pop out, foul out, whatever the heck you want to call it. Doesn't really matter. 1 away for Beniquez. 1-7, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 2 for Candy. And that'll bring up Salazar. He singled his first time up. 3-8, and this time he will fly to Butler. And the innings, that's 7 in a row retired by Candiotti. So he is definitely settled in. Looking to give his team a rare good pitching performance. Tony Bernazard will lead off. He grounded to second first time he came to the plate. 5-11, and switch hitter batting left. That's a ballpark blast. He does have normal power. It's 1-2-8 as a left-handed hitter. That's 15, so that will be a fly to right field. Hauled in by Bosley, 1 down. For Julio Franco. 1-3, that's another fly out to Bosley, 2 down. So Bosley getting some practice out there. Here's Mel Hall. 2-3, and that's a pop out to Seitzer. And another 1-2-3 inning turned by Saberhagen. So both pitchers have settled in dramatically. At the end of 3, it's still 3-0. Candiotti back out. And he will be facing Seitzer, Bosley, and White. 1-5, and that's a 1-9 home run for Seitzer. That's a 7. It's gone. Kevin Seitzer, his 3rd home run of the season. Look at it again, a 1-5. Split chance, 1-9. That's a 7. So that is gone, and that puts Kansas City on the board. Home run number 3 on the season for Seitzer. RBI number 9, and the lead has been cut to 3-1. Here comes Bosley. 6-5. That's a fly to center. Butler is there. 1 away. That'll flip it over to Frank White, the venerable one. 3-4, and he's going to draw a base on balls. And that is the first walk issued by Candiotti. White will not be held, not go anywhere. Here's Bo Nose. 4-9, and that's a ground ball second base C, so that'll at least fence the runner, but now there are 2 outs. As White will take second base on the play. Now we're in a clutch situation for bye-bye Balboni. In the clutch, he is, according to this, he is completely neutral. For 3, and that's ground ball first base X. That's Joe Carter. Carter is a 3E24. 3-18, he'll get to this. E24 is the question. And that is an 11. I don't like that 11, but we'll find out. E24 and an 11, and that's why I didn't like the 11 right there. E24, 11 is a 1 base error on Joe Carter, and that's going to keep the inning going. As White will now take third. So runners are at the corners. Candiotti thought he was out of the inning. Not to be. And now Jamie Quirk, the batter. In the clutch for Quirk, he gains a hit on a 2-6 and on a 1-9, so he's good in the clutch. And also on 2-8, so he's got 3 hits he gains in the clutch. 5-7. That's ground ball second base X. We're looking at Bernazard. He's a 4. That's questionable. It's definitely questionable. 4-4. That's a base hit. No question. It's not questionable anymore because 4-4 is a base hit. Single 2 stars. That will move Balboni to third. Scoring on the play. Unearned run is Frank White. And now we're checking the error rating on Bernazard. That E22, 12, 17, and 18. And no error, but the base hit is there. And that produces yet another run. Cuts the lead to 3-2. And here is Bakota. Also a clutch situation. And in the clutch, he loses a couple of hits here on 3-3 and 3-8, and also on 110 and 2-7. So he's definitely anti-clutch. 6-9. There's a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. But 2 runs come in for the Royals, and they narrow the gap to 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Hello, Colin. Good to see you. Saberhagen back out now, maybe a reprieve since he's gotten some run support. It'll be Tabler, Carter, and Snyder due up for the Tribe. 1-8, and that's a ground ball to short. Salazar all over it, 1 away. And for Saberhagen now, that is 8 in a row. He's retired. Here's Joe Carter. Actually, more than that, 9 in a row. 4-7. And that's ground ball, second base X. Frank White, 2E11. 2-20. He'll get to it. E11. E11 and a 10. 10s are usually pretty safe. E11, there is no 10, so it's a good play for Frank White. 10 in a row now retired by Saberhagen. For Corey Snyder. 6-3, ballpark single, 1-11. That's a 3, so that's the first hit since the first inning. Coming on a ballpark single check. Snyder will not be held. Here's Jacoby. (6-8), and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Salazar, a 2E16. 2-7 should be okay. Probably a G2. 2-7 is a G2. And the shortstop, 16. All he has to avoid is 14 and 17. And he does that, so it'll be a 6-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. So we completed 4 innings here in Cleveland with the score Cleveland 3, Kansas City 2. Things are tightening up a bit here at the Mistake by the Lake. Coming up for the Royals, the top of the order, Beniquez, Salazar, and Seitzer against Cotton Candiotti. 6-7, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. Julio Generosimo Franco, 2E26. And again, the evil D20 comes up a 2 and a 3. Unbelievable. 2 and a 3 is actually, no, he's going to get to it. It's a G3. Wow. He actually gets to it. Amazing. So E26, you got to worry about that. 12, 17, and 18. And he survives, plays a bad hop, makes a play, and there's 1 away. 1 down, and that brings up Salazar. 112, that's a line out right to Jacoby for out number 2. 2 down for Kevin Seitzer. Homered his last time up. It's a 4-8, and this time he will go down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Candiotti in a 1-2-3 inning. Go to the bottom of the 5th, still 3-2. Bottom of the order for the Tribe, Bando will lead it off. He lined out to Frank White, his first chance. 1-6, he's going to line out this time to Salazar. 1 away. Flip the order over to Butler. Butler now hitting .447 with this 1-for-2 performance so far. 5-7, and that's a 1-5 single. That's a 1. The double die comes up again, and Butler continues to hit. Butler will be looking to get the lead, 2 through 8 for a 12. He gets the lead, 15 being held to 13, -2 is an 11. He stole in the first inning, 1-11. And of course, you're counting on those low D20s because the double die's been going low most of the night. So that's another reason to try for it. Second stolen base of the game for Butler. Brings up Bernazard. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch for Saberhagen. His wild pitch rating is a 5. Fortunately, the D20 didn't come up low that time. 6-3, switch hitter batting left is a ballpark single check, 1-11. That's an 18, so he did miss out on that one. So that's a line out second base for out number 2. Now clutch situation for Franco. Franco's 1 for 2 in the clutch. Look at this, 1, 8, 9, and 10 are all anti-clutch hits, as well as 3-10. So you could deem him Mr. Anti-Clutch. 2-5, though, is going to be a ground ball to third, and that's going to end the inning as Mr. Bakota takes care of it. And we have completed 5 innings here in Cleveland. Score still 3-2. Favor of the Tribe. They were hanging on. Candiotti back out. Will face Bosley, White, and Jackson. Bosley, White, and Jackson are your scheduled hitters. Bosley, White, and Jackson. For Bosley, he's 0 for 2 in that cleanup spot. Very strange he's in the cleanup spot, but that's the lineup they put out there. Maybe that's why they fired the manager midseason. I don't know. 4-8, and that is a strikeout. Strikeout number 4. Billy Gardner and John Wath. I think he got replaced by John Wathan later in the season. Probably for decisions just like that. Here's Frank White. 5-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That is Bernazard. He's a 4. 4-4. The double die strikes again. 4-4 is a base hit. Base hit for White. He's an E22. He's got to avoid 12, 18, and 17. And that's a 14, so he's okay. White's aboard. Will not be held. And here's Bo Jackson. Tying run on base. 2, chance of a balk or a pass ball. Balk rating of Candiotti is a 4. 1-4 he balks. He does not. So staying at first base is White with 1 out. And Bo Jackson, your batter. Bo Nose is 0 for 2. 4-11, and he might be 0 for 3, although it's to left field X, so Mel Hall's not the best. He's a 3-4. 3-6, that's questionable. Probably going to drop. 3-6 is going to drop for a single 2 stars. Single 2 stars will move White to third base. Bo gets the base hit. Checking the error rating, he's an E4. 3, 4, 15, and 18. Got to avoid those. And he does. So no error on the plate. It will be a single 2 stars. And now Bo Jackson looking to get the lead. Needs a 6 or a 7. Got the 7. He's going to go. He's a 16, being held as a 14, but then the +3 makes him a 17. So 1-17, and Bo will steal second base. And he does. Stolen base for Bo. That takes the double play out of the equation. Puts 2 runners in scoring position with 1 out for Balboni. And now for Cleveland, the infield is going to come in. Infield is in. Candiotti to Balboni. He needs a strikeout. And I believe Balboni leads the league in strikeouts, or very close to it. He's got 24 strikeouts in 78 at bats. 3-5, and that's a walk, so not exactly what they wanted. It does set up a force play to any base, and a double play does get him out of the inning with Jamie Quirk. And Quirk does have some ground ball A chances on his card, so they will play back for the double play. Bases loaded, 1 out. Quirk 1 for 2. 3-9, and make it 2 for 3. He's going to get a single. 2 stars. That will score both runs from second and third, and Kansas City has come back to take the lead. Balboni motors over to, and I use the term motors loosely, to third base. One of the reasons why I don't like these 2-star things, because I just can't see Balboni chugging that much, but maybe the ball was hit so deeply that he could do it. And Quirk's not going to go anywhere, obviously. But the Royals take the lead. It's now 4-3. Runners at the corners, 1 out for Quirk. Or Quirk is on. He's not going to go anywhere, so it's actually Pacoda that's due up. Pacoda, we're looking for the double play again. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. Balk rating again for Candiotti, which is a 4. No balk. So Pacoda will step in. Runners on the corners. Double play depth. 3-9, and that's another walk for Candiotti. It's going to load the bases again. And for Candiotti, that is his 3rd walk of the game, 2nd of the inning. Bases are now loaded for the top of the order. Tribe bullpen now is loosening. Looking at the Cleveland bullpen and who's coming up, we are looking at Rich not yet loosening in the bullpen for Cleveland. You'd like to get Candiotti through the inning if possible, but he's in dire straits right now. He needs money for nothing, which is a double play. 5-5, and it gets a double, not a double play. It wasn't what I was talking about. I didn't finish the sentence. It's a double play, not a double. But it is going to be a double, and that's going to score at least 2. We'll check on Pacoda. He is a trail runner, so he's not being held to 14. The double is assumed to go to center. Butler's a 0. 1-14, but with only 1 out. I think they're going to hold him with only 1 out. So it's a 2-run double. And that will do it for Mr. Candiotti. He has reached fatigue. Even though the computer doesn't say it, he has reached fatigue. He's getting up 6 runs. And they're not going to be able to have Candiotti get out of the inning. So they will go and turn to Rich Yet in their bullpen. Can't close the book on Candiotti just yet because he's not finished. He goes 5 1/3, but he is responsible for the runners on second and third. He's given up 9 hits. He walked 3, and he struck out 4, actually. Struck out 4. All right, so the infield's going to have to play in because runners are on second and third and less than 2 outs. So Salazar. Now let me get the numbers on Yet before I start anything else. Bring him in on the computer and give you his numbers on the replay. Yet for Candiotti. Yet is 0-1 with a save, a 4.24 earned run average. 23 innings pitched, 18 hits, 14 walks, 14 strikeouts. All right, nothing on the havoc roll. So now Salazar is up with the infield in. 3-10, and that is a ballpark single check. 1-11, that's an 18. He's going to line it to short. So 2 down. Seitzer the batter. He's actually the 9th man to bat in the inning. Bosley led off with a strikeout. So Seitzer number 9 to hit in the inning. 1-7, and that's not going to work for yet. 1 to 13 is a double. That's a 14. It's 2 stars, though, and that will bring home both runs. Both runs are charged to Candiotti. He's going to end up giving up 8 runs in this one, and the Royals are going to bat around. I seem to have a lot of bat arounds in this replay. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the nature of 87. But Bosley has a chance to make 2 outs in the same inning. It is now 8-3, a 6-pack for the Royals here this inning. 4-4 against the lefty is a walk, and the inning continues. First and second, 2 outs. That third out has proved to be elusive, and here's Frank White. Two 5, and that's a pop out to first, and finally the inning is over. But a 6 spot for Kansas City. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. Kansas City firmly in control, 8-3. Saberhagen gave up 3 in the first, but the way he's pitching now, I don't think he's going to give up much more until he tires. So Saberhagen is on. Got an 8-3 lead now. We'll do the final totals on Candiotti. They were ugly, to say the least. So 7 runs are earned. 8 runs, 7 earned. Not a pretty sight at all. Mel Hall, your leadoff man. Saberhagen has given up 6 hits and 3 runs in 5 innings, but most of that was in the first inning. He's really settled down since then. Pitched a 2-hit shutout over the last 4 innings. 2-5, and that's a ground ball to first, and Seitzer to the bag himself. Kind of reminds me of the Florida Panthers. They had a 3-0 lead after the first period and saw what happened to them. So much to the chagrin of RJL. 6-8, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. That's Salazar, 2E16. 2 and an 8, he'll get to that. Oh, rolled the D20 by mistake. Let me re-roll that. E16 and a 12 for a shortstop. There is no 12. Good play for Salazar. 2 down. And that'll flip it over to Mr. Carter. 5-7. That's a 1-6 single, but the 17 makes it a liner to short. Saberhagen continues to cruise. Guess he's getting the karma of the thumbnail. That thumbnail gives karma to a lot of these pitchers, whoever I happen to choose for the thumbnail. I never know going in. I have to pick a thumbnail before I start. And that's what I do and try to make it work out. Here is Bo Jackson. 3-10 for Bo, and that's a single. So Bo with the base hit. And for the Royals, that is their 11th hit of the game. 8-3, but Kansas City is still putting the pedal to the metal. Yet is a -4 hold, though, so that might change everything. He's a -4. And so that's a -3 instead of a +3. That could be a huge difference right there. But they're playing with house money, so they're going to try to get the lead anyway. 7, he gets the lead, so there you go. 16, but he holds a 14. -3 is an 11. So 1 to 11, and Bo will steal it. 1 to an 11, and Bo steals second base. He's already stole a base in the 6th. And he steals it again with a 1. Bando's throwing error is a T6. He does not throw it away, but it will be a stolen base for Bo. His 2nd of the game. Cleveland fans not happy in the stands, thinking they're running the score up, but there's still 3 innings to go, so can't really say that. Here's Balboni. And, of course, Cleveland always has the option of stopping them. That's a novel idea. 2-4. That is a ground ball to third. See, it would have been a double play had we not stolen the base, but that prevents the double play. It's just going to be a ground out to third now. Without the steal, it's a double play. So here is Jamie Quirk. .310, and that's a split chance. 1-3 is a single, and also he lines out second base. 2 down. For the number 9 man, Bill Pacoda. Bill Pacoda Chrome. 5-6, and that's a ground ball second base X. Jackson was not being held, so second baseman Bernazar keep his 4. 4 and a 10, he may get to that. 4 and a 10, yes, because he was not holding the runner, he gets to it. E22, he's got to avoid 12, 17, and 18. And he does barely. But he makes the play to end the inning. So the Royals will strand Bo Jackson on base. And we go to the bottom of the 7th with the score. Kansas City 8 and Cleveland 3. Yet will continue to pitch into the 8th inning. Coming up for the Indians, it is Snyder, Jacoby, and Bando, but we are in the 7th inning, so might pinch hit for Bando. We'll have to wait and see. But right now, we are at the 7th inning stretch, and of course, that means take me out to the ball game. You've been around long enough to know that by now. So that's where we're going. So I probably, with all these runs, I think I probably need a little bit of a stretch myself. So I'm going to stand while they play, take me out to the ball game. All right, 7th inning stretch is in the books. And we are ready to continue. 8-3, Royals lead. Corey Snyder, the batter. 4-6, and that's going to be a line out to Frank White. 1 away. 1 down, and here's Brooke Jacoby. Tribe fan, if you're still there, if you want to try to manage along with the Indians, the way I let RJL do the Mets and Brian B do the Reds, you're more than welcome to chime in if you want to pinch hit for Bando. 4-6 for Saberhagen, another line out to second, same role. 2 line outs to second base. 2 down. Bando is your batter. Now on the bench, if you choose to pinch hit, you got from the right side Carmen Castillo, Rick Dempsey, and Andre Thornton. From the left side, Doug Frobel, and a switch hitter, Otis Nixon. Okay, so 8-3 game. We're going to let Bando continue. Bando is 0 for 2, a couple of lineouts. 4-8. Switch hitter batting left is a strikeout, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the 8th inning. Still 8-3. Yet back in for another inning of work. He can go 3 innings without tiring, so he's good to go there. They'd probably like him to go in and finish the game out and save the rest of the bullpen is what they would probably like, because I know Camacho is tired and is pretty much unavailable. But it's not a safe situation anyway. Here's Benitez, start the 8th, 4-7. That's a 1-4 double, and that's a 3. The double die strikes again, and a double for Benitez. That's an even dirty dozen hits for the Royals. Here's Salazar. (5-8) ground ball shortstop X. That is going to be Franco. 2E26. 220. They got a chance for a double play if they don't boot it. That's a 12. He's an E26. Shortstop E26, and there's a 12 sitting right there. Plain as day. It went from a double play to an E6. How do you like that? E26 and a 12 is sitting here all lonesome by itself in the one base error column. It's been that kind of night for the Tribe. So Franco will boot it. Actually, it wouldn't have been a double play because the runner was on second, but it would have been an out, and the runner would have held at second base. But instead, it's an E6. Runners at the corners and nobody out. Second error of the game for the Tribe, as Carter made an error earlier. Runners at the corners, infield back. It's 8-3. They need outs to avoid getting blown away. 1-6, and it's not going to get them any better. 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a double. And look at that. The double die comes up with 1 again. Once again, the double die strikes. It's a triple for Seitzer. He's a double away from the cycle. And I've never had a cycle before, but I don't think he's going to get a chance to bat again. He's got 4 hits, 2 singles, a homer, and a triple, but obviously unless the Royals bat around again, he's not going to get a chance to get that cycle, that all elusive cycle. But he's certainly the player of the game. No question about that. Tribe will play the infield in just because. Not that it matters. It's 10-3. 6-5, and that's a ground ball second base C, so it's probably a good thing they played the infield in. So we go to our little chart. Runner on third. Ground ball C is a 1, so batter out, runners hold. So without playing in, that would have been another run, just to add insult to injury. But in that case, you had to play the infield in. Here's Frank White. Infield still in. (1-9), and that's a 1-out walk to put runners at the corners for Bo Nose. Double play does get him out of the jam. That's a 1. Chance of a wild pitch for Rich Yet. And his wild pitch rating per the computer is an 18. So that will force in another run on the wild pitch. And takes away the double play possibilities. It is now 11-3. 11 unanswered runs by Kansas City. Hey, Doug. Too bad we can't get a closer game for you. All right. So at second base is Frank White. Bo Jackson, the batter. 2-8, and he's going to strike out. Out number 2. That will send up Balboni, Mr. Bye-Bye. 2-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Franco has it to end the inning. 3 runs come in, 2 of them earned. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. It is now 11-3. 11 unanswered runs. Cleveland had a 3-0 lead after 1. And things have just gone awry. Top of the order for the Tribe, Brett Butler. This is the fatigue inning for Saberhagen. 112, and that's going to be a line out to second plus possible injury. So we're adding injury to the insult as Butler lines out to second. And now on a 1-4, he stays in the game. 5 or higher, he's out. And the one time they needed the devil die to be low, it was not. So Butler's going to have to leave, and Otis Nixon will take over in center field in the 9th inning. He'll come into play center field in the 9th, will Otis Nixon. So here comes Tony Bernazard. 5-6, and that is a strikeout. There's a dot there, but he's not tired. 2 down for Franco. 6-5, and that's going to be a 1-4 triple. Anything else is a double. So it's a 2-out double for Franco. That'll bring up Mel Hall. Six-9 to the lefty. Ground ball to second. Frank White takes care of it. Inning over. So we go to the 9th. It's 11-3. New center fielder for Cleveland will be Otis Nixon. We bring him into the game via the computer, and we're also going to bring in Frank Wills to pitch. Give him an inning of work. He is a computer-generated card that I had to print myself, so it's not going to look very good. But at this point, does it really matter? You probably don't want to see the results anyway. They're just that bad. So Frank Wills is going to pitch. And he's going to be facing Quirk, Pacoda, and Beniquez for the Royals. Wills on the replay, 0-0 with no saves. He's only pitched 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He hit, in real world, he was 0-1 with a save and a 5.06 ERA in 5 innings pitching. So he's pitched 2. This will give him 3 of the 5 innings he needs. 110, and that's a ground ball back to Wills for the out. We'll figure out Yet's numbers after the game is over. No sense messing with it now. Here's Pacoda. 5-11, and that is a fly ball left field X. We're looking at Mel Hall. He's a 3-4. 3-2. Why would it be any different on the double die? It's been like that all night. 3-2 will be a double. Mel Hall's an E4. 3, 4, 15, and 18. Avoids those, but can't avoid the double. Off the bat of Bill Pacoda. And actually, Seitzer has an outside chance of batting this inning. Trying to get that elusive cycle. Could happen. One more runner reaches base. Beniquez. Whoa, hop and dice. We're going to re-roll this. 2-7, and that's a strikeout. So now Salazar has to reach in order for Seitzer to try for the cycle. He has to reach. That's a 1. Wild pitch chance is a 0, though, for Wills. 1-9. He's going to pop it up to short, so Seitzer won't get the chance. And it's a scoreless inning for Wills. And we go to the bottom of the 9th. Saberhagen's going to try to finish what he started. Why not? It's got an 11-3 lead. Yeah, I don't see Cleveland scoring 8 in the bottom of the 9th, that's for sure. So it will be Pat Tabler, Carter, and Snyder. 4-8 as a pop-up to Mr. Bakota at third. One away. Here's Joe Carter. 3-6, and that's a ground ball to short. Salazar is there. And Saberhagen 1 out away from a complete game victory. And Corey Snyder, the only one standing in the way. 4-8, and that's a pop out to third. Bakota is there, and there's your ball game. So an outstanding pitcher performance by Saberhagen after the first inning. In the last 8 innings, he pitched a 3-hit shutout. 9 innings, give up 7 hits and 3 runs, all of which were earned. Let's see about, well, I'll have the computer give me all those numbers. No sense doing the math when I don't have to. Why do the math when you don't have to? We'll get Saberhagen's numbers. 7 innings pitched, 3 hits. He walked none, struck out 2. He is the winner, improves to 3-3. Candiotti drops to 0-4. His ERA goes up to 7.12. Rich Yett went 2 2/3. Gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned. Walked 2, struck out 1. Wills went 1. Gave up a hit, nothing else, and did get a strikeout. So final line score for Kansas City, 11 runs on 14 hits and an error. Cleveland, 3 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Hello, Jim. Good to see you. All right, so Kansas City evens their record at 13-13 as Saberhagen evens his record to 3-3. Cleveland drops to 13-16. So player of the game is Kevin Seitzer. Despite the good outing by Saberhagen, you have to give it to Kevin Seitzer. He went 4 for 5 with 5 runs batted in and 2 scores. Home run triple, just missed the cycle by a double. And he was on deck to bat in the 9th, but Salazar couldn't get the hit to extend the game. So he is the player of the game, Kevin Seitzer, for the Royals. Next game on the replay, we will be in Chicago, Comiskey Park. It'll be the Orioles and the Chicago White Sox. Not exactly a stellar pitching matchup. Jeff Ballard against Joel Davis. But that's, you play it as they lie. To use a golf analogy, you got to play the schedule. So that's all you can do is play the schedule. You never know. It might be a decent game. Hard to say. Kansas City, though, improves to 13-13. They have pulled within 3.5 games of the lead in the West behind the first place Oakland A's. And Cleveland drops 7 games back now of the front-running Milwaukee Brewers and New York Yankees. They are tied for the lead. So that's going to do it from Cleveland. Looked like Cleveland might blow them out in the first, but then Kansas City, 11 unanswered, took care of business. Hey, Barry, that's cool. I did have another gentleman send me some stuff already. His cards look like that. My cards look like this. So obviously, you can tell the difference. I don't have the best printer in the world either. I got a decent printer, not the greatest. So there's my email. So anyway, yes, Pirates Mets. Glad you reminded me of that. That's tomorrow. Probably looking for tomorrow morning, maybe around 10-ish for the Mets Pirates game. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking anyway. But it all depends on how my schedule is going and what's going on and everything else. So anything and everything is liable to change that. So I have no idea until tomorrow gets here what's going to happen. Let's see here. There's my email, Barry. I don't know if it went through, but that's my email. If you can let me know where that website is, I will check it out. I appreciate that. If I could print out cards that look like that, that would definitely help my Strat replays for sure, because it beats the snot out of printing out like this. And I used to print that in color, but it was so hard to see. And then Spokane Steve was printing his out black and white, and I figured that was a better option. So anyway, I do appreciate that. If you can send me the link, that'd be awesome. And I will look into it. Possibly look into doing the few missing cards I have for this season. Maybe I don't know if I want to do a Will's card because he's almost done for the year, but there's got to be other people that I can print out and maybe take a look at. So that's going to do it from here. The Royals get that big come from behind victory and take care of the Tribe. So tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning, around 10-ish maybe, sometime between 10 and 10:30, somewhere in that neighborhood, we're looking at Inside Pitch, and it will be Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the New York Mets April 22nd. It'll be Jerry Royce against Tom Seaver. That will be the matchup on Inside Pitch, mañana, as they say. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.